And with that, we welcome you to the new season. I'm Matt Stewart, joined by former Auburn Tigers All-American, NFL first-round draft pick, and 15-year pro Wayne Gandy. And Wayne, as Hank Williams Jr. used to sing, are you ready for some football?
What an exciting game to start off the season with, Matt. We're talking about two nationally ranked teams that come to do battle. I can't wait to see this action and the all-stars out on the field.
Well, let's talk about the Milton Eagles first. Winning the state championship back in December, second state championship in program history, led by their junior quarterback last year, now a senior, for my money, the top quarterback in 2023, and that was Nicco.
One of the best quarterbacks in the state. He's a true dual-threat quarterback. He can run the ball in between the tackles, out on the edge, and man, who has weapons in that receiver and tight end section of the field. This young quarterback and that arm, explosive offense.
Committed to Miami for a long time now and rated as high as the number 11 quarterback in the country. On the defensive side of the ball, you got Hayden. He doesn't have the stars. He's got the stats, though. He's looking for offers, and he'll knock the heck out of you.
3 more inches, and he'd be a household name. This young man can make all the tackles out on the edge. He's a thumper in the middle, along with his partner, A.J. Benton. That linebacker duo might be the best in the division.
All right, let's talk about the Buford Wolves. Disappointing the last 2 seasons, if you want to call 22-3 disappointing, but they haven't reached the state championship game. They got knocked out in the quarterfinals last year. Raiola was their quarterback last year. Raiola is their quarterback this year, but Dylan has gone to Nebraska. His younger brother Dayton is now the quarterback in this 2-quarterback system.
One of those top young talents in the junior class at the quarterback position, 6'3", 205, can make all the throws, gonna learn on the job and get a little pressure from TJ Wilcox behind him. But wow, I'm looking for this talent to shine tonight in Raiola.
Well, defensively, you've heard of Grady Jarrett. They don't have Grady Jarrett, but maybe the next best thing. His cousin, Bryce Perry-Wright, who's rated as high as the number 4 defensive lineman in the country for 2026.
6'3", 250, great off the edge. One of those guys that can slip the block. Just hard to find him. You got to find him each and every play. That's the kind of home house wrecker he is. Mr. Wright, Mr. Jarrett might be the same people.
Absolutely. Buford and Milton, there are 57 total players in this game who have college scholarship offers. That is mind-boggling. Let's get this thing started and send it off to Nelly.
Thank you very much, Matt. Good evening to you. Good evening, Wayne. Good evening to all of you, however you are accessing us, large device or small. And I know that you're asking yourself, how did this game come to pass? Well, let's go through the story really quickly. Milton, the way that they like to start their season, they like a multi-game, multi-state showcase, bringing a lot of talent here to this stadium. Because of the way the calendar fell out, it wasn't going to happen this year because Georgia's starting a week earlier than everybody else. So that meant Milton was looking for a game. Buford, we all know about Buford. It's kind of hard for them to find an opponent in the regular season. These 2 teams were supposed to square off against each other in a scrimmage, and they just got to the point to where it was like, tell you what, we need a game, you need a game. Let's go ahead and pair up and make this the first game of the year. But Milton said, let's do this on one condition. You guys get to come to our place this season, and we get to be your first opponent in your new stadium, state-of-the-art, under construction, right there on the Buford Highway for 2025. And so that's why we're here tonight, and now you know the rest of the story. Hannah, I guess that's the game that we're going to be chasing at the beginning of the 25 season. What's going on with you?
Oh yeah, John, already looking forward to that rematch. Happy football season, y'all. Here at GPB, we do something special, and we're getting to do it again this year. There are 2 games on our network, so not only are we live from Eagle Stadium, we are also streaming live from Tyrone for Sandy Creek versus East Coweta. You can watch it at gpb.org/sports or download the GPB Sports app. Now, while you're on that app, scan this QR code to vote for our poll question of the week, which is, who's going to win this game tonight, Buford or Milton? Be sure to stick around for halftime, where we have our Make That Kid an Offer segment, player spotlights, top scores around the state. We check in with principals and John to talk about the first half. You're not going to want to miss it. Guys, for now, back up to you in that nice air-conditioned booth.
Heads up, it is not air conditioned in here. It's kind of stuffy up in here. But
yeah, I got my sweat towel.
It is August
already.
16th, so this is what you can expect. Milton won the opening toss. They have deferred until the second half, so that means we're going to see Buford on offense to start this game. You ready to go, buddy? This is going to be fun.
This offensive line, this Buford team coming in here with a lot to prove, trying to reestablish themselves as the top team in the state against this Milton Eagle team that brought home the championship. The last 7A champion, at least for now, Matt. What a great season, a great team they should be.
The opening kickoff is brought to you by Heads Up Georgia. Park your phone while driving. It saves lives. Milton all in black, and you would expect that. That's what they won on the way to the state championship. They were wearing their all blacks last season. So they're coming out in all black to open this season. And Jordan Allen standing deep for the Wolves is going to be taken right there in the middle by Baker. And Baker on the return, and a nice one up to the 35-yard line as Justin Baker, the starting running back, on the return gets 30 yards. Let's take a look at tonight's impact players. It's brought to you by Brayden Pest Management, official pest control of high school football. Buford on offense, running back Justin Baker, wide receiver Jordan Allen, Milton on defense, cornerback Dylan Lewis, and linebacker A.J. Benton.
Look for Justin Baker to really get going here early in this game, trying to establish the run with this young quarterback in Dayton Raiola.
So interested to see how Dayton Raiola responds. You know, his brother Dylan really shook up the state of Georgia when he flipped from Georgia to Nebraska there right before signing day. So let's see how Dayton does as the junior starting quarterback. And the first snap is going to be a handoff to Justin Baker, who you saw just get the 30-yard return, and he gets nowhere on the opening play.
Tough sledding in there. Number 99, Terrence Spencer in the middle. Look for that name all. And up front, Caleb Ellis, Caleb Bale. Tough on the run again in Milton.
So 2nd down and 9 after just a 1-yard gain by Justin Baker. Baker committed to Tennessee back in October of 2023. Over 19 other offers, including Michigan. Handoff goes to Baker again, and again Baker gets stonewalled. No running room right there. As we take a look at the Buford Wolves on offense, it's brought to you by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank. Justin Baker, the running back, then Bennett, the fullback, Allen, Harkness, and Barry, the wide receivers and the tight end. And we'll take a look at that offensive line in just a moment. 3rd down and 7. And that offensive line is a really good one. Both these teams can boast great offensive lines. Raiola, the left-hander, back to throw, and it's caught by Jordan Allen right across the middle, and a first down across midfield at the 49-yard line.
Nice job there by Jordan Allen going up and getting that ball at the apex. Nice good route there. Beautiful ball there by Raiola, keeping the ball high. Getting to his big target there in Allen.
10-yard committed to Louisville. Did that back on April 14th over 17 other offers, including Georgia. So 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line for the Wolves. And Dayton Raiola looked good on his first pass.
A lot of shifts, a lot of motions out of this Buford offense.
Justin Baker again runs right into the middle of that defense, and he's met by about 7 players as he pushes the pile for a 4-yard gain.
And that's going to have to be the theme. 1st, 2nd down, just trying to make 3rd down manageable for the young quarterback early. There in the middle there by Burton, Clark, and Majors in that offensive line.
Second down and 6. Low snap. Baker gets the handoff again, and Baker lunges forward to the 39-yard line. Going to bring up 3rd down and 1. Like you said, they're setting up nice, easy, manageable 3rd down situations for themselves.
Great poise there for the low snap there by Raiola, getting it off the ground, making the handoff. Good run there off of that left side. Graham Houston stepping in there. 6'4", 300 pounds. His offensive line has a lot of size. Hasn't played a long time together, but you can see the size of this young group.
Buford's already put together a 3-minute drive to start this game. It's 3rd and 1 from just inside the 40-yard line. Power set. Handoff goes to Baker again, and a 1st down. Authoritative run by Baker down to the 31-yard line. And Baker really pushing the pile right there. Houston, Burton, Clark, Major, and Mabinga on the offensive line. You remember Ben's brother Paul, who's now pushing for a starting job at LSU. And Graham Houston's a guy who's just a sophomore who's really come on, has 6 offers, including Georgia.
Nice lead block there by A.J. Halloway, the 3-star South Carolina commit. And this is what we're used to with this Buford team. They like to run the ball, stay between the tackles. They have multiple backs to feed the ball to, keep it in third and manageable.
Baker 5 for 20 yards so far in the game, gets the toss sweep, gets around the edge and picks up a couple of yards. They missed a chance to get a TFL right there. And Billy Waivoda, the new outside linebacker who replaces Ja'Cory Stewart, you saw his highlight to start this game, the pick 6. Waivoda was the one who missed him in the backfield. It's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Waivoda, good job of keeping that outside shoulder clean, getting out to the edge, making Ethan Ervin have to earn each yard right there. Nice tackle, but good discipline by him.
Yeah, it was the first time we saw someone other than Justin Baker carry the ball in this game. Ethan Ervin, whose brother Gabe starred at Buford, and now a great running back at Nebraska.
A.J. Benton, Hayden Taminia inside, showing a little run blitz, trying to get some pressure.
2nd down and 11, low snap. Raiola picks it up and is going to go down at the 32-yard line, and he's going to end up losing another yard or 2 on that play.
Another low snap there by Preston Clark, the center. Good poise again by Raiola to corral this ball. Showing strength to get out of that tackle there by Waivoda. Just getting back to the line of scrimmage.
It was Lawson Estes, 6'3", 175 senior, free safety, whose dad's who coach on this team and coaching outside linebackers this season. He's the one new starter in the secondary this year. He got that TFL. It's 3rd down and 11. Call it 12. Either way, it's a long way to go. Raiola flips it off to Ervin. Actually, that's not going to be Ervin that time. That's going to be Dylan McCoy. So the 3rd different back that they've used now, and McCoy's going to be short of the 1st down.
Nice job letting the defense, sucker the defense in, getting it out on the edge there. Not really sure by the offense. It seemed like they thought it was 4th and short. You saw a lot of guys kind of pointing as though they got the 1st down.
Yeah, they were thinking that the yard marker there was the 1st down. That was actually the original line of scrimmage. This will be a 45-yard attempt for J.D. Gregory. That's right there, kind of in the edge of his range that Coach Brian Appling says is 45 to 48, sometimes 50. Got good conditions, though, and kicking from the left hash. Kick is a line drive that's going to be off the mark. And Buford comes up short on their opening possession as they get stopped at the 27. Milton on offense when we get back.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to be safe on every trip. Buckle up, Georgia.
Hey, Georgia, have you heard the news? The state's hands-free law is saving lives. But more lives can be saved if everyone would put down their phone when they are behind the wheel. And if you don't comply with the law, Georgia law enforcement officers have a simple solution. Hands-free, or we will hand you one of these. Smartphones make our lives easier, but they can also put our lives at risk by taking our focus off the road. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to know when to hit send.
No matter the season, Breda works to protect the inside and outside of your home. Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Time to catch up with our friends here from Milton High School and to present our gift from our friends from Cigna. The $1,500 goes to our buddy Corey Keys and everybody here at Milton. Thanks for letting us be your debut for the 2024 season.
Anytime GPB, Cigna want to come over here, you're always welcome. And how awesome is this? It's hot, sweaty, sticky, but this place is about as sold out as it can get. And we're having an awesome time. First drive, pulling for the Eagles. Got these great cheerleaders. You can't do any better than that.
Absolutely true. $1,500 from our friends from Cigna to our friends here at Milton as we start things off here in 2024. Let's send it upstairs.
All right, thank you, Nelly. And Wayne, how about that? They go nearly 6 minutes on their opening drive, stall at the 27 and miss the 45-yard field goal. But they've eaten up half of the first quarter already before Milton touches the ball.
And that's Buford's offense. That's what they like to do. They like to use that big offensive line and multiple backs to move the ball, shorten the game, and give their defense rest.
Here's your impact players brought to you by Brayden Pest Management, official pest control of high school football. C.J. Wiley and Brayden Jacobs for Milton, and Jadon Perlotte and Mantrez Walker for the Buford Wolves. And Brayden Jacobs, that's a story unto itself that we'll delve into here in the next couple of minutes.
6'7", 330 left tackle. Hard to miss him out on the field. What a big human, 4-star. A lot of talent here for Milton at that left tackle.
But Buford is missing him because he was playing for Buford 2 weeks ago and transferred to Milton. Ball goes to C.J. Wiley, and Wiley going to go down close to the first down as they spot him at the 28. So the first pass from Nicco is a completion to Wiley. To me, the top pass-catching combination in the state last year. Nicco and Wiley led them to a 13-2 record in the state title.
C.J. Wiley last year, a lot of people came to see DeBron Gatling for this Milton Eagle team, but C.J. Wiley cemented himself as a top receiver, big, 6'4", 210, can play out on the edge, and he keeps this defense stretched out because he can catch the ball and a big playability once he has it.
Committed to Florida State back on June 25th. Ball goes to Tristan Payne, and he's got a first down at the 35-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Milton, brought to you by Regions. Get back in the game with Regions. And there's Brayden Jacobs. We were talking about him. Heineke, Kazmark, Moans, and Scott, that entire offensive line except for Jacobs. Same offensive line they had when they won the state title. Lester, the running back. Then you got Wiley, Payne, and Barbour, the #1 tight end in the country, transferred in from Alpharetta, and G, who's the #9 tight end in the country. They're using Barbour more as a wide receiver. 1st and 10. Ball goes to Wiley on the other side, makes a man miss, another man miss, and Wiley across the 50 all the way down to the 45.
Great job there by Wiley, and that's what makes him so dangerous after the catch. Big receiver that can make you miss. Get the ball out there quick by Nicco, get out the ball to the outside. Look at the step right there by Wiley, making his dad proud. But what a talent he has shown to be top receiver in the state.
And when I talked to him at the Corky Kell lunch a couple of weeks ago, I asked him how his dad felt about him committing to Florida State and not his dad and mom's alma mater, LSU.
Well,
he said he was cool with it.
We got the SU part, just the wrong first letter.
That's exactly right. Nicco going up top for Wiley in the home run and nearly intercepted back there by Jameer Cantrel, the safety.
That time double covered right there, just giving his best player a chance, airing it out, trying to get it down the field. And that's the thing about Wiley and what will open up the rest of this offense for Tristan Payne and Ryan G. He's just a guy that you have to double coverage right there, just trying to lead him up the field, give him the ball to try to catch there. Ashton Bear on the coverage, number 23.
That was the first incompletion for Nicco. He's 3 for 4 for 34 yards. 2 of them have gone to Wiley, the other's gone to Payne. Let's see when Barbour gets his chance. Handoff goes to T.J. Lester, and Lester gets stopped by Perlotte.
Great to see Lester back in this unit. Banged up most of last year, but a great back that's trying to reestablish himself.
That was actually starting in place of Perlotte, who made that tackle. Here's a look at the Wolves on defense. Morrow, Maggio, and Perry-Wright. I think it's really the strength of their team on defense. Wyatt, Halloway, Walker, and Rivera are the backers, and then Davis and Ervin the corners. Pope and Cantrell are the safeties. Jax Pope is the cousin of Jake Pope, who went to Alabama and is now at Georgia. 3rd down and 8. Nicco to Barbour, can't haul it in with the one hand. And that was Ervin on the coverage, and there is a flag down on the field in the offensive backfield.
We're going to get a late hit here on Maggio, the nose tackle with the pressure there. Good route, great anticipation there by Nicco getting the ball out.
That's going to give them a first down. It would have been 4th down and about 8 from the 44. Now they're going to have an auto first down.
just can't give this kind of offense with this kind of talent any extra yards. You pushed it to 3rd and long, had an opportunity to get off the field, and now you're pushing this high-powered offense into striking distance.
Ben Reeves in his 3rd season, 23-6, 10-0 in region play. His 8th season overall. He came here as the OC to Adam Clack back in 2017. So since he's been here on staff, the Eagles have gone 77-18.
Coach Reeves, he understands his opportunity for his team, and he's not afraid to speak up on it, and he wants to have a national impact with these Eagles.
They start the season number 6 in the Max Preps national rankings. Lester on the run, scoots to the outside and down to the 21-yard line. TJ Lester, good to see him healthy. In the playoffs, he was banged up and really didn't have much of an impact down the stretch.
Good vision, great patience to get this to the outside there, letting Barbour secure that block. Vision, and the thing that you have to watch with TJ, he's healthy this year, and that's what he's out here trying to prove, that he's a premier back.
That was an 8-yard pickup, and this is a touchdown. TJ Lester, 21-yard touchdown run, and Milton has the lead.
Great job of just keeping active there by TJ Lester. The Buford defense seemed like they thought the whistle had blown. Just back, fighting for the extra yards, and then finds himself out in the open space right there. Will make his dad, Tim, very proud. Nice job once again, patience, running behind his pads. Great job absorbing those blows to the legs and able to bounce off of them for the touchdown.
Top kickers in the state last season on for the PAT, and he puts it right through the pipes, and Milton has a 7-0 lead. TJ Lester kept the legs moving and found the end zone.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Every game day celebration, every championship title begins here with hours of unseen work. As part of our commitment to education, Georgia's EMCs support the young athletes who play high school sports in the communities we serve. Empowering talent with scholarships, honoring sportsmanship, saluting the game changers. When we champion the energy behind the scenes, they can step into their future and shine. Georgia's EMCs, official energy provider of the GHSA.
Come over here.
Milton 7-0 lead on Buford following the touchdown run by TJ Lester. Buford had the ball first 6 minutes, didn't score. Milton had the ball for 3 minutes and did. As you take a look at the scoring drive presented by the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign, 7 plays, 80 yards, 2:45 off the clock.
And when you watch that drive, very even and balanced by the offense, being able to mix in the run and the pass. TJ Lester, there, the young man, back healthy, thick in the legs. You saw the elusiveness as well. And with his health and this receiving core, Nicco and this offense can stay balanced, and there is no limit to what they can do offensively.
Alex Nover set to kick it off. Matt Stewart along with Wayne Gandy, John Nelson, and Hannah Chalker. Thanks for Hannah Gooden, pardon me. When she's married 20 years, I'll get her married name right. I still call her by her maiden name. So a few more years, I'll get it right, Hannah. But we're all here, along with the GPB Army and our producer, Glenn Diamond. Thanks for joining us here for the season opener. 7-0 Milton on top as Buford gets ready to go on offense for the second time tonight. What'd you think of Raiola on that opening drive?
I thought he showed great poise with the low snaps, and we saw him on that first pass with the snap that he has on that pass. We know T.J. Wilcox will come in and mix in with him, but right now I think it's his job to lose at that starting quarterback.
So 1st and 10, you saw Brian Appling right there, 63-6 in his 6 seasons as the Wolves head coach, became the first coach ever in Georgia high school history to win state championships his first 3 years. But they're disappointing, 22-3 the last 2. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Big expectations in North Georgia with this Buford team.
Handoff goes to Justin Baker. And Baker gets just a couple of yards on the play as he gets pushed back. Taking a look at the starting lineup on defense for Milton, brought to you by Regions. Get back in the game with Regions. Ellis, Spencer, and Bell up front. They're really good. The Caleb's a kid and offer kind of guy. The linebackers are Wyboda, Benton, Lester, and Taminia. And in the secondary, they bring everybody back. Estes is the new guy, but Lewis and Redmond both committed to Tennessee. And Mekhi Jones is committed to Duke.
Redmond and Lewis out on the edge gives this defense so much ability to blitz, bring guys down in the box, because those two corners love to play man and are willing to play man and want to play man.
2nd down and 5. Running a reverse to Allen. Jordan Allen with the blocker out there. Going to get submarined, however. Great tackle. I think that was A.J. Benton, the linebacker, came up and got him in the backfield. Or maybe it wasn't.
Good job there of executing, getting out on the edge, and looks like maybe Ty Redmond there on the tackle.
Yeah, Ty Redmond. It was 8, not 9.
And looks like he's a little shaken up. I saw him raise his hand, and all the trainers are out there. Maybe hurt that shoulder on that tackle. Justin Baker. Jordan Allen, excuse me, out on the edge. 5'9", 190, and you can see.
Look and see, did he take a knee to that bicep on when he went low to make the tackle?
Good job, just got that right arm in there, and he immediately raised his hand.
Ty Redmond committed to Tennessee last November, over 10 other offers. Consensus 3-star. 6'2", 176 senior. Where did they find these 6'2" cornerbacks? I mean, cornerbacks used to be 5'9", and now they're 6'2", 6'3".
6'2" with range, long arms.
It's crazy.
Great speed.
Yeah.
Just so much talent on this field tonight between both teams, and you can kind of see Ty Redmond kind of hanging that shoulder. Hopefully it's just a stinger and he can get back in the mix.
3rd down and 2. Line to gain is the 30. And a timeout is going to be called. There's a flag drop. So a timeout was called by Milton. Did Milton have too many on the field?
Milton had 12 men on the field right there, and I think that's why
there's no foul for delay of game. The ready for play had not been blown yet.
And that's forced Coach Reeves to call a timeout.
Brian Appling, asked him, have you done anything different? Have you tweaked anything? You feel pressure when you don't get to the state championship at Buford. At least this is what I'm thinking when I'm asking the question. And he said, no, I mean, you do things differently every day. Every year you're always evaluating and looking back and see what works and what doesn't. But no massive overhaul or change in our approach and the way we're going to do things, even though, we didn't make it past the quarterfinals the last 2 years.
Yeah, not accepting the pressure, not letting the outside voices dictate to his team as though they have been a failure, really just speaking as though, hey, sometimes you don't make it all the way, but they've done it enough. They know the path, they have the talent. He's going to stick to that formula, and eventually that dam is going to break, and they'll be holding up another trophy.
I was sitting in a press box yesterday, and a couple of guys were talking before the game got started, and they said, yeah, Buford's down. I said, really? They've got, are you sure that Buford is down? They've got 9 4-stars, 11 3-stars, 36 total players with college scholarship. Are you sure they're down? Because I'm not.
I don't think they're down. I just think over the last couple of years, they got to certain games, things didn't click. But Coach Appling has confidence and really was looking forward to taking on Milton here tonight.
So out of the timeout, we go back to 3rd and 2. Raiola in the pocket, hums it deep, got Allen out there. He has to wait on it though, and a flag comes out. The ball was behind Allen, so he had to slow down for the ball to try to get back underneath it, and the defender runs into him. That was Mackay Jones, the safety on the coverage.
And great job there by Mackay Jones. You have to take that penalty if you're in that secondary, in that position by Jones, or he's going to give up a big play right there to Jordan Allen, who's coming back to the ball. He realizes he's lost the ball following the man, and as you can see him kind of just waving off, he has to take this. Allen working back to the ball, going to make a big reception. Might as well just line up and take the 15 yards and line back up.
Yeah, unlike NFL, that's not a spot of the foul penalty. I'd like to see high school football go to that, because it really kind of rewards a defender who's beat to do exactly what Mackay Jones just did. Grab the guy, because it's only going to be 15 yards instead of a touchdown. Handoff goes to Baker. Baker gets buried.
Great job by Caleb Ellis off that line, pushing the line, only giving Justin Baker one way to go, making him bounce to the outside right there, that 50 in the middle with the pressure, and then a great job of tackling to many of the man in the middle. We talked about him in the open, just a tackling machine and a nose for the ball.
Caleb Ellis, 6'2", 265, senior, returning starter, committed to Georgia Southern on June 14th. Baker is now 7 for 26 rushing. Down to 90 seconds left here in the first quarter. Handoff goes to Ervin, and Ervin gets submarined at the 47-yard line.
Ethan Ervin.
Ty Redmond again, that's the exact same tackle he got hurt on last time.
Sticking his nose right back in there is Redmond. What a talent. Both of these corners headed to Tennessee. And Buford, you can see their game plan tonight. Try to create 3rd and short, manageable for their quarterback, willing to run on 1st and 2nd down regardless of the down and distance.
Yeah, when Ben Reeves was in college at Georgia, he worked, with the football program, developed a relationship with Willie Martinez, who, by the way, is now the secondary coach at Tennessee. 3rd down and 5. It's good to make friends in high places. Wow, what a hit right there at the line of scrimmage by Billy Waivoda. Bringing the lumber, and it's going to be 4th down.
Outside linebacker, 6'2", 190. Watch number 20 work underneath the block there on the edge with the big hit. Just getting under that block by Sam Harkness is Waivoda making the big play. Coach Reeves said he had those kind of guys that are just forcing him to play them, making big plays there like Waivoda.
And that was McCoy on the carry, and here is the punt. Payne is deep, and it's going to bounce into the end zone. So Milton gets a break right there because it had too much of a kick on it, and the Eagles will bring it out to the 20 as we have finished the end of the first quarter. That was a 52-yard punt. Leicester took it in for our only score in the first quarter, heading to the second.
Football on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign. Life is a movie, filmed drug-free. DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Life is a movie, filmed drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and live a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
All right, what do you think, Jasper?
Honestly,
I think that polyester shirt's affecting your game.
What?
I think cotton would have been a better choice.
Cotton?
Yeah, it's come a long way, you know. Nowadays, cotton breathes and makes moisture great. Plus, buying cotton means supporting Georgia farmers. I think that's wonderful.
Okay, sure, but what do you think about the putt?
Oh, guess really hadn't thought about it.
Over here.
Start of the second quarter, Milton leading Buford 7-0. Matt Stewart along with Wayne Gandy, John Nelson, and Hen Gooden. Let's take a look at the Milton resume. It's brought to you by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids. State champs in 2018 and 2023. State finalists in 2021 when they lost to that great Collins Hill team and Travis Hunter. 7 region titles. They've won 6 straight. In 2023, 13-2 in the 7A state champs. And here in 2024, they have 21 total players with college football offers.
Ben Reeves, the head coach, as we talked about, knows he has a special unit. He has experience on both sides of the ball. They're really trying to live up not just to winning a state championship last year. They want to live up to that national ranking as well.
Second possession starts on the first play of the second quarter for Milton, and there goes T.J. Lester down the sideline. And Lester gets a big bite out of that Buford defense and gets 25 yards on the play, close to 26.
Nice pull here by Madden. Mones kicking out number 54. Good vision here by T.J. Lester. And that's the one thing about him. He's just hard to bring down. He has great vision.
That's a 23-yard pickup for Lester, who has 4 carries for 54 yards already in this game. Catch out on the edge, and that's C.J. Wiley, his 3rd catch of the game. Nicholas started 3 for 5. Make that 4 for 5 passing, and 3 of his 4 have gone to C.J. Wiley.
Quick read there by Nicco getting out on the edge. This time corner coming up, securing the tackle there on C.J. Wiley, but he's just a weapon. Out on the edge, he's always going to make those corners and safeties have to pay attention to him as they continue to use him, and that's where Ethan Barbour and Tristan Payne will have to come in and just take advantage of those one-on-one coverages.
Wiley chose Florida State over 33 other offers, including Georgia, a consensus 4-star. Nickel, heavy rush, eludes it, backpedaling, throwing to the sideline and out of bounds. Barbour was over there on the sideline, but well out of bounds as Nickel was just getting rid of it to avoid the pressure, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Nice job there of Nickel getting out of traffic, getting a shoulder square, finding the field once again, and then making that smart decision of just throwing that ball away. What a tough guy right there in Nickel, and that's one thing we haven't seen yet in this game, and that's his ability to take the ball and run it. So if you're Buford, you can't fall asleep on that ability of him of running the ball.
From the recruiting perspective, he's not the highest rated quarterback in the state. Juju Lewis is playing on national television tonight, but Nickel to me was the best quarterback last year because of his running ability. He was a multi-dimensional dual threat quarterback. Put him over the top in my estimation. And a jump ball over here as they tried to go to Barbour at the 47-yard line, threw it into coverage, and it's going to be 4th down.
This time coming with the pressure right there. Mantrez, Walker, number 8 coming to your screen, forcing Nickel to make a quick decision here out on the edge. Lucky break right there. 23, Ashton Bear in position, maybe pick the ball off, but doing enough that Barbour couldn't find it.
Ethan Barbour is rated the #1 tight end in the country. Chose Georgia last September over 34 offers, ESPN 4-star. But they're using him in that spot where they used the aforementioned DeBron Gatling last year, and Gatling's now playing for South Carolina.
And put weapons out on the edge, and that's the thing. Even we haven't even mentioned Ryan G. Both of those tight ends have the ability of playing out wide like wide receivers.
Flag is dropped on the punt by Keenum Meenan. Kieran Meenam on the punt right there, and let's check the flag. Number 91 is the punter.
Once again, in that situation, probably a substitution. 12 men on the field. Kind of dropped that flag before the play got going there.
Yeah.
Was the back judge.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I agree with you. It looked like they were doing some counting and they dropped the flag. So waiting to see what that's going to be. The officials still talking about it here. It was a 32-yard punt. We'll see if it stands. So now, if Buford had too many guys on the field, that's going to give Milton a first down. So this is a big call right here.
Long discussion here by the referees. Make sure they got it right, because that would be a big break here for Milton to be able to continue this drive.
Hats off to our officials here. It's got to be hot. I don't think those zebra stripes don't look like they breathe very well, do they?
First game, everybody has a little sweat, a little lather going, trying to get back into condition. But what a game here for these refs, for us, the privilege of calling such a huge game to start the season.
Yeah, you can see the reaction here by Brian Appling. Yeah, it is on Buford. That's going to be a first down for Milton.
Fourth down.
Oh, it's still going to be fourth down. I thought it would put him past. I thought it's only a 5-yard penalty. So I was thinking it was going to be 10 and a first down. So now it's 5. But it gives Milton something to think about here, because now it's going to be 4th down and 2.
And with the ability of Nicco to run the ball and pick up that down and distance, but right here, Coach Reeves at least is showing that he's going to punt the ball once again.
I'd watch, because one of the protection backs is A.J. Benton. And if I'm not mistaken, I've seen them run a fake to A.J. Benton before.
Benton to Minia. It is a lot of beef back there for a punt in this situation, but linebackers are known to be out on the field on punts here. But they're making this Buford team think.
There it is. It's a fake to Benton. I told you, first down.
Great call there, Matt.
They should have been in my scouting report. If they'd known, they would have known Benton has done that before, and he just picked up the first down.
A.J. Benton, just so versatile. 6 feet, 220 senior, headed to Campbell. Very athletic right there, showing you getting out on the edge. Good blocking up front there by his teammates, Ethan Barbour and Taminia, securing the blocks out on the edge right there, 1 and 7. And then just running behind his pass. Just a big man to try to bring down in that situation.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 45-yard line after the fake punt run by A.J. Benton.
Looks like we might have another substitution call here. White hat is counting.
These are the kind of penalties that typically you will see in a season opener.
There's no flag on the play.
They do play a scrimmage, but no preseason schedule. So a lot of times these type of penalties crop up in the opener. They wave this one off, and so we'll play 1st and 10 from the 45. Handoff goes to Lester, and Lester struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A.J. Halloway right there, 44, meeting Lester in the backfield, 6'3", 225, 3-star South Carolina. Nice job of him hitting, seeing the ball, and going to get it for that negative 1-yard gain.
2nd down, and we'll call it 10 again. Look at big old number 77, Brayden Jacobs, at the end of that offensive line, the left tackle. He just dwarfs everybody else. 2nd down and 10. Nickel, there's pressure, the pocket holds up, hums it deep, and a jump ball, and off the hands of Wiley in the end zone. He kind of got twisted up and was falling backwards, but did get his hands on the ball and couldn't come up with it.
Finally getting one-on-one coverage there down the field. Airing it out is Nicco. Good protection up in the pocket, airing the ball out, giving his receiver a chance right there. Getting behind the corner is C.J. Wiley, just not able to adjust himself to catch that ball right there.
Demarius Nibby was on the coverage. Nichols 1 for 4, just 3 yards passing on this drive. And now it's 3rd down and 10. Low snap, Nickel gets it out of there quickly, and it's caught for very little gain. That was Wiley again, maybe got a 1-yard pickup on the play. That's Kenyon Rivera wearing that 0. Remember, Edric Houston wore that 0 last year. He's now at Ohio State. Or am I supposed to say the Ohio State?
The 3-star headed to Kansas is Rivera playing out on the edge in coverage. Nice job of him outside. And with the pressure there was Perry-Wright coming off that edge, making Luke Nickel get rid of that ball.
Yeah, Milton had a 3-star that went to Kansas last year. You remember him, Ja'Cory
Stewart.
Had the play
what
of the
a player
game.
He was.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the punt, angling it towards the side, and it's going to hit inbounds and stay inbounds and be downed at the 1. Are you kidding me? That tight roped the sideline and downed at the 1-yard line by the Milton coverage. It was a 43-yard punt.
Breda Management works to protect the inside and outside of your home from pests. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Cigna Healthcare. Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being. Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to be safe on every trip. Buckle up, Georgia.
Hey, Georgia, have you heard the news? The state's hands-free law is saving lives. But more lives can be saved if everyone would put down their phone when they are behind the wheel. And if you don't comply with the law, Georgia law enforcement officers have a simple solution. Hands-free, or we will hand you one of these. Smartphones make our lives easier, but they can also put our lives at risk by taking our focus off the road. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to know when to hit send.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Regions Bank. Get back in the game with Regions Bank.
Welcome back to Milton, 8:08 to go first half. Let's talk about our multi-screen experience that we have here in 2024. And for that, we go to the web game. Thanks to our friends at Johnny's Pizza K1. Get in there. Look at that. It's showing it right there. Rivalry, East Coweta and Sandy Creek. They had an 8 o'clock start, so they were a little behind us. Opening kickoff run back by East Coweta. Sandy Creek has scored on their own. So it is late first quarter, 4 minutes and counting, 7-6 East Coweta. That's a part of our multi-screen experience this year. Go to gpb.org, YouTube channel, all of our social medias, and catch all of our games this season. Matt, back up to you.
All right, Nelly, next thing I want you to do is give us a weather report. You said earlier that we had rain coming in from the west, and it looks like we got some dark clouds. I know it's also getting dark. It looks like we got some dark clouds rolling in as well. So Buford back on offense. 4 minutes into the second quarter, right there at the goal line, just trying to push their way out.
Great job of getting off that goal line there by that offensive line, pushing forward in the middle, just trying to create some space.
Encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So now it'll be 1st and 5. That gives them some breathing room and pulls the ball out to the 6.
For this Milton defense, this is one of those drives you really want to get a 3 and out if possible. Don't want to give Buford any yards in this situation. You got them locked in. Their offense isn't really clicking. You want to take advantage with your veteran defense and try to get the short field for your offense.
This is the biggest crowd I've ever seen here at the Eagles Nest. You got people lined up along the fence. We got neon lights flashing. It's like we're at the boardwalk or something. Run the ball out here to the 10-yard line, pick up a 4 on the play as they're just trying to get out away from their own goal line. That was Baker again on the carry right there. Baker had 7 carries for 26 yards in the first quarter.
Nice job of falling forward there by Baker. 5'11", 205, had some speed running behind his patch there, getting behind that left side of the line of Houston and Burton.
Again, he's rated as high as a Rivals 4-star, number 24 running back in the country, and committed to Tennessee.
We've already seen this Buford team use 5 or 6 running backs. It is running back used for Coach Appling.
Handoff goes to Baker again, and he'll pick up the first down. And, you know, they've always been that way. They've always been a rotate the running back by committee, and their running backs are typically 3 and 4 stars, so it's a good thing. The one time that they did less of that is when they had Justice Haynes, who, of course, went to Alabama.
And when we talked to Coach App, he kind of was like, hey, it's just going to be a revolving door, and whoever gets hot that night, that's who he's going to run with. And it's just talent on top of talent back there, and the unselfishness of these backs over the years is proving to benefit this team and themselves as they move on to the next level.
1st and 10. They've also always been a 2-quarterback team. That, you know, as long as I can remember, Buford has always been very successful playing 2 different quarterbacks. Last year was the exception with Dylan Raiola, who was the starting quarterback and played almost all the snaps. Dayton, his brother, throws it, and it's dropped right here. Man, someone takes a tumble there. That was the tight end Hayden Bradley, and he goes back and takes care of the gentleman that he knocked down on the sideline, showing great sportsmanship right there.
We talked about TJ Lester on the offensive side right there. Tristan Lester doing a great job riding Bradley to the sideline, really just nowhere to go with that ball for Raiola. Lester stepping out of the secondary up to that linebacker, outside linebacker spot. Still may see him back in the secondary as the year goes on, but right now doing a great job at outside linebacker.
Yeah, Bradley's another great tight end. He's committed to Ole Miss, did that back on April 27th. Gabe Ervin, or Ethan Ervin, I should say, slip up there. Gabe, his brother, was a great running back here when they won the state championship in 2020. And now doing a great job with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That's Ethan.
From 4-star Baker to 3-star Irving. Both backs getting on that left side, falling forward, showing that unselfishness. And Dylan McCoy now in the game, a highly rated running back in his own. And that's just the talent they have at Buford.
McCoy's another one of those highly rated running backs. Heavy rush and a quarterback sack for Milton, back inside the 10-yard line. Looked like it was Caleb Bell, Kendrick Bell's son.
Big time pressure here by Volta right there. Great job coming off the edge by Caleb Bell. The 3-star Arkansas commit, 6'3", 265.
You were a teammate of his dad, right?
Yes, yeah, Kendrick Bell
yeah.
in Pittsburgh. We used to call him contact. That's how hard, when you heard him hit, he's one of the hardest hitters you'd ever want to see at that linebacker spot.
Starred for the University of Georgia before becoming the AFC Rookie of the Year, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was a star for us in Pittsburgh.
Ball is kicked away from Payne, and it's going to bounce out of bounds, and let's see where they spot it. They'll spot it at the 45-yard line. Let's take a look at the Buford resume. It's brought to you by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids. 14-time state champs. That's second most in program history, or state history, I should say, behind Valdosta. Most recently, 3 in a row. 2019 to 21. 21 state finals. 18 of those have come in this century. They've gone 13-5 in the finals, 32 region titles, 19 of those in this century. They were 11-2 state quarterfinal finish a year ago, and 36 players on their team with college football offers.
One of those resumes that you just sure is a misprint, that this could not be something real, but Buford, and they are known around the country as being a powerhouse in Georgia football.
1st and 10, ball at the 46-yard line. Milton back on offense, scored on their opening possession on the run by TJ Lester. Lester gets the carry again, and Lester picks up 5. Lester stands to get a bulk of their carries this season with Amauri Juice Anderson out the season with a torn Achilles.
Just love how he bounces off of tackles, moving forward. Another player I played with his dad, Tim Lester, when I was a rookie out in L.A. Tim was a fullback. He used to say he had quick feet, but I don't know. He always was blocking for Jerome Bettis, but his son right here, TJ, doing a great job running behind his pass, making yards.
Unfortunately, we lost his dad, Tim, during COVID, passed away, and his little brother Tristan's on the team as well. And of course, they're very close to their dad, and they have their Y Wednesdays. And Coach Reeves says when Tim or rather Tristan and TJ got up there, you know, their Y was their dad, who they lost a couple of years ago.
Great guy. He was a youth coach in football.
Very active in youth football
yes.
Here in the Atlanta area. Sorely missed. 3rd down and 1. Direct snap goes to Barbour, and he's right there at the line of scrimmage and going to be short of the 1st down by a yard, but there's also a flag down.
I think they go against Milton here. Barbour, so talented, lining up, taking the direct snap there. Just shows the kind of ability, tight end / receiver that he possesses.
6'3", 235 senior. Going to join that great Georgia Bulldogs wide receiver / tight end.
Illegal motion on the offense. That penalty decline, 4th down.
So they're going to be a yard short, 4th down, forces Milton to decide whether they want to go for it or not here at the 45-yard line.
And you have to imagine that this Eagle offense is just going to line up, try to get a hard count. If not, go for it with Nicco, as we talked about. A guy that is not shy away from these kind of situations, picking up these 4th and 1s.
Yeah, another reason why I thought in my book Nicco was the quarterback of the year in 2023 was he took the Milton team on his back in the playoffs.
Yeah, they really got energized in the playoff, especially when he would run. When they didn't have any momentum, he would run the ball, and it just seemed like it galvanized the team to rally behind him.
So a timeout has been called, and we'll step aside. 7-0 Milton, 4th and 1 coming up.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by Georgia's EMCs. So much more than electricity.
In lively towns and peaceful rural areas, Georgia's electric membership cooperatives are on a mission to provide a different kind of electricity. Our not-for-profit, member-owned EMCs are focused on making life better for members. At private residences, farms, and thriving businesses, we work for you, generating safe, reliable
a few minutes, we have some really cool things coming up, like the Make That Kid an Offer segment, scores around the state, player highlights, and much more. But for now, guys, we'll see what happens.
4th and 1, batten down the hatches, Hannah. Here we go. The snap goes to Nicco, not going to get there. And Buford's defense comes up big.
Big time penetration right there in the middle of the defense. I think we have a flag down.
Yeah, the flag came out after the play. I think we have an unsportsmanlike penalty perhaps right here. Buford was celebrating after they got the stop on 4th down, but direct snap to Luke, and he got hit in the backfield and stopped in his tracks.
Deion Miller, 17, just knifing through that offensive line for the penetration to stop Luke Nicco.
And Deion Miller is a guy that Brian Appling said has really made great strides, had a big impact during their summer workouts, and is their Make That Kid an Offer. Buford doesn't have many Make That Kid an Offers because most of them have it, but Deion Miller was his choice, the 6'5", 205 junior linebacker.
Sometimes you get stacked behind all that talent and you don't get a lot of time to show what you can do out on the field. But right there, coming up big, squeezing through that offensive line and being able to bring Luke Nicco down.
So it looks like the penalty is on Milton. I didn't catch. It had to be a 15-yard penalty, a big one. So the ball is at the 40. So I'm guessing right now, did not see the indication, maybe unsportsmanlike, but Buford takes over at the 40-yard line, got the stop, and 15 yards on top of it. Ervin to the edge, and Ervin, big pickup. Dragged out of bounds by Estes, but that's a first down for the Wolves.
Beautiful
15
play,
yards.
Beautiful play design here. Sam Hartness faking the reverse. Patience here by Ethan Ervin. Going to the backside, getting out on the edge. That's where you want to get a player like him into a foot race out on the edge. Big pickup here in that situation for Buford.
So best opportunity, it would appear, for Buford to score since their opening possession when they stalled at the 27, then missed a 45-yard field goal. It's been Raiola all the way so far at quarterback. Have not seen TJ Wilcox yet. Ervin gets the handoff, and Ervin is able to get 5 yards on the play. Good, steady run and great balance by Ethan Ervin.
And you saw that earlier by TJ Lester being able to balance the vision to get to the outside, shake off tackles in the legs, and just making positive yards. And we do have a flag on the play.
Looks like Buford is retreating. So going to wipe out what was a 5-yard run for Ervin right there.
Legal block in the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So block in the back, the call, 10-yard penalty. Pushes the ball back to the 31. So now it'll be first down and looks like 11. Line to gain. Well, it's more than that, pardon me. More like 14. Line to gain is the 17. Down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds, 45 seconds left here in the half. Handoff goes to Baker. Baker hurdles a man down to the 25-yard line. Gonna be second down.
Sticking with that two-tight system here, running the ball, getting it to two of your best offensive players here, Ethan Ervin and Justin Baker on this drive. Nice job getting to the corner there by Baker. Dayton Raiola doing a good job in this game communicating. We've seen him have to grab a couple of balls off of the ground on low snaps.
You got both the tight ends right there. Barry and Bradley lined up on the left side of the offensive line. Toss goes to Ervin. Ervin on the cutback gets dragged down at the 23-yard line. That was Wyboda again, who's been very active here in the first half. That was a question mark for them, the outside linebacker spot.
Wyvoda and Lester, the outside linebackers, new to those positions this year. Good job there, Wyvoda, making the back, cut back in, making that tackle there, getting assistance by Pigram as well, number 10 on that play.
So a timeout for Buford. And the reason for the question marks for Milton at the outside linebacker spots is because Ja'Cory Stewart graduated out of the program now at Kansas. And Jack Lawson, you might remember, had a great interception in the final. He's now at Carnegie Mellon.
Veteran outside linebackers that were impactful, especially Stewart. We saw him a couple of times just take over games from that position. And now moving Lester. They have those kind of athletes, not as much size right now with Lester and Wyvoda, but you can see the speed and the discipline that they both play with.
So down to 1:21 left in the first half. Buford has 2 timeouts remaining. They've already had a 45-yard field goal miss in this game. Milton's score occurred on their opening possession when TJ Lester took it in from 21 yards out, but it's been all defense since then.
And this Buford offense has been patient. They've shown that they're okay making it an ugly, running the ball. Haven't really asked Raiola to step back and throw many
ugly?
balls.
I thought your offensive linemen liked this kind of game.
Oh, I love it.
You like ugly. Okay. Just to clarify, you love ugly.
This is the kind of game you want. 2 types getting downhill with 4 and 3-star running backs.
There you go. 3rd down. Big play here in the first half. McCoy gets the handoff. And McCoy got knocked down, shot down like a bullet at the 20-yard line, and that was Estes again. Man, Estes playing his first game there at safety has also been very impactful.
We know the kind of hitter that Jones is at the strong safety. Right there, the free safety. Estes getting in the mix. Nice job of Hayden Taminia pushing that ball to the outside and letting his safety, Lawson Estes, make the cleanup.
Lawson's dad, Lonnie, was the secondary coach, but they moved him to outside linebacker so he wouldn't be coaching his son in the position group. He's played well here tonight. 4th down and Buford going for it. 4th and 5. And a timeout has been called. Comes from the Milton sideline.
Timeout, Milton.
Good timeout there by Coach Reeves. Didn't like the look. Buford came out spreading the defense out, empty backfield. Good time to take a timeout. Make sure your defense is ready in this situation. Force them, at 4th and 5 right here, dialing up a play here. In that situation, you got to keep your eye on Raiola as well in his mobility.
So let me ask you, 36 seconds play here in the first half. Milton 7-0 lead on Buford. Is this what you expected tonight?
Not tonight. I expected a little more offense, maybe 21-17 at half, with the kind of talent on both sides. But these defenses and the way that they have committed themselves in this first game to running the ball, establishing a run for both teams.
Yeah, Buford has not thrown the ball hardly at all. Raiola has only 3 pass attempts, 2 for 315 yards. The rest of it has been on the ground. I mean, this is really kind of old school Buford, and I mean old school, going back to the days of Jess Simpson.
My old teammate from Auburn, Jess Simpson. What a great coach and program he helped build here.
4th down and 5. Raiola chased out of the pocket, slings it in the middle, incomplete. Ball will go over on downs. Flag down, but I think it's going to be a hold on Buford anyway, so Milton will decline that if that's the case.
Holding on the offense. That penalty decline. Be 1st down, Milton.
Right here, looking downfield, color shows, and you can see the hole right there, just not. 65 Mobinga just not letting the defensive end go right there. Good job of sliding to the outside by the quarterback.
I'm sure Dayton won't mind because he was protecting him right there. He was going to get crushed by Benton, who was coming up on a blitz, and the report is that it's starting to sprinkle a little bit here at the Eagles' nest. We can deal with the rain. The other stuff we don't want. So Milton goes on offense with 30 seconds to play. They have no timeouts, so I would not be surprised if they don't just play it very conservatively here and get to the locker room.
First down, Eagles.
And that's what they do. They hand off to T.J. Lester. Lester gets 5 on the play, or 4 on the play. I mean, he's been their biggest offensive weapon tonight. Lester, 8 carries, 68 yards. So halftime here, and a 7-0 lead for Milton as they head to the locker room.
Both teams willing to run the ball, play kind of conservative. Really didn't even see either quarterback throw down the field.
Our coach's interview is delivered by Johnny's Pizza, your original neighborhood pizzeria.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'd like to thank you for beating the weather and getting the snap in at 30 seconds to go. Smash mouth football for the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heavyweight battle, you know, back and forth, blows on both sides. We were fortunate enough to punch one in, but we knew it was going to be like this all game long. So it's what we knew, it's what we signed up for. Great high school football game right now, so hopefully we can get into halftime and get back out here before the weather comes and affects the game.
One more question. I do like that point of view, though, about getting back out here with the weather and everything. Defensively, you're keeping that offense in check. You're not letting much get to the outside. You're keeping them pinned in, having to force them make a lot of decisions I'm sure they didn't want to make.
Yeah, you know, they, sophomore starting his first game on the road against number 2 in the state, Milton, is a tough task, and we knew that they were going to rely on the run a lot, and we revved our guys up to stop that run. So right now, our game plan is going just how we drew it up. So we got to go in at halftime, recalibrate, see what we can fix, and come back out ready to go because there's a lot of pride on the other sideline. They're going to come out ready to fight. So we better be ready to match that intensity.
Recalibrate, go stay dry.
Yes, sir.
That is your interview with Coach Reeves, brought to us by our friends at Johnny's Pizza. Delivery out the door and heading your way. Halftime here at Milton. Rain's coming. More on GPB in a sec.
Let me know if I can help you with anything. Just looking. I only buy local and sustainable, so.
Oh, well, that shirt's not local. You should be wearing cotton. Georgia's a major supplier of cotton worldwide, so if you'd like to buy local to support Georgia, buying cotton's a great place to start. It's renewable and sustainable, naturally. Thanks. And that's a polyester fiber made of oil, by the way.
Where's your dressing room?
Hey Georgia, have you heard the news? The state's hands-free law is saving lives. But more lives can be saved if everyone would put down their phone when they are behind the wheel. And if you don't comply with the law, Georgia law enforcement officers have a simple solution. Hands-free, or we will hand you one of these. Smartphones make our lives easier, but they can also put our lives at risk by taking our focus off the road. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you to know when to hit send.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
Whether you're an athlete or just out for a casual jog, concussions are a common occurrence. Kirk Erickson, Cigna Healthcare General Manager for Georgia and Alabama, is here with tips on how to avoid concussion and how to treat it. Kirk, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
How common are concussions?
Well, obviously we think of them in collision sports, but they're more common than you think, even in non-collision sports. You could have a concussion out jogging if you fall off a curb, you have a playground accident, or even just falling off a bike. So they're pretty common.
So with them being so common, how can we protect ourselves?
Well, we don't want you jogging with a helmet on. That would be a bit odd, but I think it's appropriate always to make sure you're wearing up-to-date helmets and that the gear fits properly and you're wearing the most modern equipment.
So if someone does unfortunately get a concussion, how do you treat it?
They take time. And so 4 to 6 weeks is not an uncommon amount of time for recovery, especially in kids. It can take even longer. So we just ask people to make sure they're talking with their coaches and their teachers, their parents, making sure everybody understands where you are in your recovery process.
And especially in football, this is really important.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing this important information.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And if you would like to know more, please visit Cigna.com. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the Football Fridays in Georgia halftime show presented by Regions. Get back in the game with Regions Bank. I'm Hannah Gooden. We are live from Eagles Stadium for the much anticipated matchup between two nationally ranked teams. That's number 12 Buford versus number 6 Milton. Now, I talked to head coach Ben Reeves before the game. He said this place sits 3,000. I think they had some bonus seats because this is a sold out crowd. The weather is picking up, so we are keeping our eye on it. Hopefully we can get through this halftime show and the second half safely. So obviously these two teams are loaded with talent. 57 players on both teams combined with college scholarships. 14 for Milton heading to D1 and 11 for Buford heading to D1. If you don't know a lot about high school football, that's a lot. But what about the kids that are overlooked when it comes to recruiting? Let's give them some scholarships. Here's our very first Make That Kid an Offer segment of the year. This week, we start with Whitewater senior running back and cornerback Blake Battle. He finished last season with 472 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. That was good enough to land the highly awarded athlete on the preseason Super 12 list by Fayette County Sports. Next up is Appalachia senior running back Fabian Williford. According to Mags Preps, he has a total of 1,206 all-purpose yards and 3 TDs. He was named first team all-region and the 2023 Appalachia High Top Offensive Player of the Year. He also broke a school track record. Another senior to add to the list this week is Jonesboro defensive back Christopher Francis. He has 30 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 interception, and 10 pass breakups. And honorable mention this week is West Forsyth QB Max Walraven. The 6'5", 175-pound junior led the Wolverines to the playoffs as a sophomore and was named 7A Region 6 first team. During college camp this summer, he ran a 4.5 40, and his coach says there's no possible reason why he doesn't have an offer. So somebody make those kids an offer. All right, the siren's going off. There's lightning in the area, heavy rain. We are going to take it to break and give this game a break. We'll be back, guys. Stay safe.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
As morning light signals the start of business, Georgia's electric membership cooperatives are right there with you. Georgia's EMCs are a partner in economic development, serving commercial accounts big and small that drive Georgia's economy. From leading industries we rely on to local shops we treasure. We support operations on the ground, care around the clock, and growth through the seasons, lighting up good business. So business is good. Georgia's EMCs, so much more than electricity.
Good to see everyone out there. Time to catch up with Director Alan Poole, the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, and we're here to talk about distracted driving. Why is distracted driving so dangerous?
Because it takes your eyes off the road. We want everyone to be attentive. Drive when you're behind the wheel of that vehicle and not use your phone. Look at your phone, look at the radio set, because there's so many things that could happen on the road. It's speeding, people cutting in front of you. It's just a lot of things, and we want you to focus on what you're doing, and that's driving the vehicle.
You mentioned texting and talking on our cell phones as a part of those distractions. What other distractions come to mind that are concerns these days?
I want to make sure that there's no distraction with other people that's riding in the car. I want to make sure nobody is adjusting a radio set. It's just a number of things that we want that driver to be paying strict attention to, and that's the ability to drive the car.
And for folks that want more information about distracted driving and everything else going on at the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, where do they go?
GAHighwaysafety.org.
As always, great to see you, Director Poole. Words of wisdom from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety here in GPB.
More inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
No matter the season, Brayden works to protect the inside and outside of your home. Brayden Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters.
Brayden, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Hard rain continues to fall here on a stormy night. We had a 2-hour weather delay here in this matchup of #1 ranked teams. As you take a look at the Governor's Red Ribbon scoring drive, 2 plays, 15 yards after Garland came up with the interception, and Sam Harkness with the 2-point conversion to the back of the end zone. And Wayne, we got a 13-10 game with 9 minutes to go here.
Great job of Buford feeding off each other, the big turnover, and then the offense with execution there by Dayton Raiola, finding on the 2-point conversion to Sam Harkness. Rain coming down a little harder, game getting a little shorter, emotions high, turning into what we thought we would 4 hours ago.
Exactly. J.D. Gregory set to kick it off, and a little pooch kick that Payne's going to field at the 28-yard line and head to the sideline, and Tristan Payne up to the 40-yard line. So good field position for Milton as they look to try to burn some clock and get a few more points on the board here with 9 minutes left in regulation.
And one thing we've seen in this half that Milton has not been able to do is run the ball. We saw in that first half with T.J. Lester, but this Buford defense has adjusted. They get more penetration. Those long handoffs now are becoming stalemates or losses against Milton, and now they have to face this Buford defense that's in a rhythm.
So here comes the Milton offense back out. Luke Nickel 9 of 15 for 117 and a touchdown. Lester 14 carries, 95 yards and a touchdown. Wiley 5 catches, 47 yards and a touchdown. Those have been the offensive leaders for the Eagles tonight. T.J. Lester tries to get outside, and he's able to pick up 1 yard on the play as he gets to the corner.
Once again, having to negotiate penetration in the backfield there. Walker, Rivera, both back there. A.J. Halloway, good job of Lester being able to get out of that and get back to the line.
That was to make that kid an offer candidate for Buford on defense. Deion Miller making the tackle right there after a 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. Nickel to the air, and they nearly jumped the route. They were going to Barbour, and the route nearly jumped by Jadon Davis, the corner. In fact, had he been focused on the ball instead of the player, he might have gotten the pick.
Nice job there by Davis, reading that route, saw the quick release, coming up off of that corner spot there, just reading Luke Nickel. Ethan Barbour felt like he got there a little early, but it looked, from our vantage point, looked like it was perfect timing by Jadon.
He submitted Stanford over 13 in Boston College. 3rd down and 8. As Haviland in motion behind the line. Nickel throws off his back foot, up for grabs, and it's caught by Wiley on his back. C.J. Wiley with an acrobatic catch inside the 25-yard line.
Great focus here by C.J. Wiley. We've seen him make all kind of plays tonight. This time the cornerback slips in front of him. As you can see, still able to adjust to the ball. Basically catching this ball on his back. to make that reception.
What a play by C.J. Wiley. 36-yard reception, 1st and 10 from the 25. Now Lester gets the ball. He picks up 1 on the play. I mean, C.J. Wiley, we've seen him develop over these last 2 years into one of the top wide receivers in the entire country. He's rated as high as the number 11 wide receiver by On3 Recruiting. But if he's number 11, I want to see the 10 in front of him.
What would those guys look like? Wiley possessing speed, the competitive nature you want at that position. Plays out wide, is a heck of a blocker as well. Just all the tools. Big time pickup for Florida State.
Yeah, his dad Chuck played in the NFL for 7 years. I think CJ's got a chance to follow in his dad's footsteps. Nickel back to pass, throws complete to Wiley again, and Wiley gets decked from behind.
Great route here, just throwing catch by this combination, something you just have to get used to. They're going to make those kind of plays. Big hit right there at the end.
Yeah, Kenyon Rivera brought some lumber there at the end of that play. And it's going to be 3rd down and 3, a big one right here, with now less than 7 minutes to go in regulation. See the numbers for Luke Nickel. Hasn't been a Luke Nickel kind of night statistically, but his team's winning, and that's what counts.
Not really sure. Milton looks like maybe they're lining up to call a timeout, going deep into the play clock.
Yeah, they're going to run it down to 1, and they do, and call the timeout. So they burned about 30 seconds before they called the timeout, with a big 3rd down and 3 coming up. So we'll step aside while they talk things through on this big 3rd down coming up after the timeout.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is brought to you in part by DBHDD. Win by learning about safe usage of prescription opioids.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
Every game day celebration, every championship title begins here with hours of unseen work. As part of our commitment to education, Georgia's EMCs support the young athletes who play high school sports in the communities we serve, empowering talent with scholarships, honoring sportsmanship, saluting the game changers. When we champion the energy behind the scenes, they can step into their future and shine. Georgia's EMCs, official energy provider of the GHSA.
Breda Pest Management customizes a treatment plan for the inside and outside of your home. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
DBHDD and the Governor's Red Ribbon Campaign is all about Georgians standing together for substance misuse prevention. Life is a movie. Film drug-free. Learn more about healthy alternatives and live a drug-free lifestyle at garedribbon.org.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Milton. 6:24 left, and I'll go ahead and use the R word, Matt. Regulation. Winners on the coast tonight include Calvary Day and Savannah Christian. A lot of folks think they'll make deep runs into the playoffs. New Hampstead gets a win as well. Thomasville beats Brooks County here in week 0. Back upstairs.
3rd down and 3. 6th play of the drive coming up. This drive started at the 9:03 mark. Big one right here.
Empty backfield. Look for Luke Nickel on the quarterback sneak if you're Buford.
Nickel gonna run it, and Nickel is not gonna get there. Needed to get to the 20, or pardon me, the 15-yard line, gets stopped at the 18, and now they got a big decision to make. Do you try to kick what essentially right here would probably be about a 35-yard field goal on a wet turf, and they had trouble with the PAT and the wet ball on getting the ball down for the hold.
You expect Coach Reeves to go for it in this situation. TJ Lester, in the way that he's able to break tackles, you have to depend on him in this big offensive line to convert this 4th down.
4th down and 4. Got to get it to the 15-yard line. That was Barbour behind the line of scrimmage. Milton scrambling, backpedaling, throws to the wide side of the field, and Lester makes the catch, but he's going to be short of the first down, it would appear. Lester makes the catch, but is down at the 16 and needed to get to the 15, and the ball will go over on downs.
Just not able to put enough behind it. Luke Nicco under duress, trying to square the shoulders and put a little pepper on the ball. TJ Lester having to come back about a yard to make that catch.
Yeah, he had run beyond the sticks.
Yes, he got to the sticks. He had to come back and get the ball.
Yeah, had to come back and get the ball, and that took him out of the first down because the throw was a little bit short. It was a long throw to the wide side of the field, and now here comes Buford down 3 with 5.5 to go. And a big moment for this first-time varsity starting quarterback, Dayton Raiola. Handoff goes to Baker. He gets maybe 1 yard on the play.
High snap, throwing the timing off on that play right there. Dayton Raiola able to go up and get the ball. But you got to have exact snaps on that play, the timing of the pull, so that Justin Baker can make the read.
Buford has all 3 timeouts remaining. Raiola going up top and incomplete.
Just tough.
Allen was the target, and he had step-for-step coverage going on there with Dylan Lewis.
Hard money trying to throw against these two corners in Lewis and Redmond. We do have a flag. It's like maybe a holding.
So Raiola is 4 of 8 for 46 yards passing.
And there's a player downfield on the offense. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
So he'll take the play rather than the penalty. It's going to be 3rd down.
Third and long, just tough sledding against this defense. Pressure. If you're Raiola, you have to test for pressure off the edge here. We've seen Taminia and Benton both stunned in this situation with the blitz. Spreading them out, going again with the empty backfield is Buford.
Raiola, quick pass to Allen. Going to have to try to work his way through the defense. No way that's going to happen as A.J. Benton is there to drop him for a loss on the play, and it's going to be 4th down. Now, punting the ball away right here is not a death sentence for Buford. They have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Great job of that Milton defense right there, swarming to the ball. Tristan Lester once again showing that discipline that him and Voda have shown.
And watch out, T.J. Wilcox, who is the backup quarterback, is on to punt. Wilcox will punt it away, and it's going to hit at the 48, taken by Payne at the 40. And Payne tracked down and dropped by Hayden Bradley, shy of the 50. That's where Milton goes on offense with 3:50 to play. Coming back for a dramatic finish after this.
Cigna Healthcare is a proud partner of Georgia Public Broadcasting and Football Fridays. Cigna Healthcare's mission is to improve the health and vitality of those we serve. Visit Cigna.com to learn how you can support your physical and emotional well-being.
Half of the nation's opioid overdoses happen right at home because people don't understand the dangers of taking an oxy or perk with a glass of alcohol for stress or to sleep. Learn how to protect your family from opioid overdose at opioidresponse.info.
At Regions Bank, we're here to listen to your needs, and we'll customize a plan to help you reach your financial goals. Our service to Georgia goes beyond banking to creating more inclusive prosperity in our communities. From education to financial wellness to economic development, we're working to level the playing field so more people can succeed and our communities can thrive.
Welcome back to Milton. Under 4 minutes to go. And once again, using the R-word regulation, taking the tour to South Georgia, giving you some winners tonight. Sumter County, a 1-point winner over Crisp. ECI beats Wilcox County in Rochelle. Valdosta with a weather delay, beating Tucker in the third quarter. That one was in control by 36. Thomas County Central, a big winner tonight. Ware County, a big winner tonight over Appling County. Clinch, a winner as well. Colquitt over West, Utah, 45-28. And Matt Lowndes, no problems with Jenkins tonight, winning by 42 back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Nelly. Here we're heading down to the stretch, 3 minutes, 50 seconds as Milton takes the ball back on offense. Milton has 1 timeout remaining. Buford has all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
And these are those situations. Luke Nicco and his ability to run has shown up to take home the victory for Milton. In the I formation right now is TJ Lester behind Luke Nicco. Heavy run formation here for the Eagles.
Pass is complete out there to Payne, and Payne, flag is dropped almost immediately on the play. Payne picked up 4 on the play.
It's going to be illegal procedure.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Well, for Milton, that's a lot worse.
Yeah, that's even. Looks like Barbour wasn't up on the line, but it's holding out on the edge. It's not what you need here in this situation. Losing yardage, stopping the clock.
For what it's worth, it looks like it has stopped raining. Although, of course, the conditions remain very wet, which would be a factor if this game comes down to a field goal in the case of Buford needing to tie the game. So 1st and 20. Handoff goes to Lester. And again, the play gets blown dead. A flag was dropped right there at the line of scrimmage.
On the offense.
And this is the illegal procedure that you saw on the play before. You just saw it in advance. So
C.J. Wiley moving early down low. Just unfocused here, trying to seal this win. 3:27 on the clock. 1st and 25. It's really more about the field position and the clock here. You just can't have those kind of, especially from senior leaders, have that kind of penalty.
Yeah, 10 penalties for a total of 76 yards against Milton tonight. So waiting for the play clock, although it's affecting, well, they're killing time off the clock because the game clock is also moving here. And now the play clock at 1, and they snap the ball, goes to Lester, and Lester is going to be corralled and dropped at the 34-yard line.
It's taking a long time to get the play in with a veteran like Luke Nicco. You want to get the play in, let him manage the game. Looks like we have a player down here, maybe cramping there by Deion Miller.
Yeah, he's the guy who made the tackle. Looks like he's now got a cramp. So the clock is stopped at 2:40 and a 2nd down coming up. So Buford's getting close to a spot here where they're going to have to start using these timeouts. Lester on that run now reaches 100 yards for the game, 17 carries for 100 yards. And he had the 21-yard touchdown run for Milton in the first quarter, or the first half. It was the first quarter.
Massaging the calves, trying to work those cramps out. This young man has definitely shown that he is a talent, is Deion Miller.
Yeah, he's a guy that specifically App called out as a young man who's had a big impact during the summer, has made great strides in the program. We've seen him get a lot of playing time here tonight, especially in the second half. I'll make that kid an offer guy for Buford on defense.
Walking off, that's a good sign.
So the clock is running again. The play clock is at 25, so they can take this thing all the way down to 2 minutes before they snap it. And so I think
doesn't look like they located where the ball is yet. Now they are hustling up to the line of scrimmage.
They still got plenty of time. It's now at 10 on the play clock. I think Buford uses the timeout after this next play. Nicco back to pass and throws in a big time catch at the 45-yard line by Payne. But still a long way to go. Surprised that Buford hasn't used a timeout yet.
I think they just took
timeout. We got a Buford player that just went down. And
nice job rolling out, taking the hit right there at the end. Is Nicco delivering the ball down the field to Tristan Payne.
So Jax Pope is the guy that goes down with the cramp, and the crowd was booing because they thought it was
that was you made the tackle,
a ploy to stop the clock, but a timeout was also called anyway, I believe. So we'll have to check and see whether Buford actually burned the timeout right there.
Right now it's still saying 3 timeouts on the board for Buford.
Yeah, I believe that Buford did burn the timeout before Pope went down with the cramp, so. So big 3rd down and 13 coming up. And with that timeout being called right there, it comes down to essentially this play for Buford. They got to stop them from getting the 1st down so they can get the ball back. If they pick up a 1st down here, then the game's over. Mathematically, you can run out the clock at that point because 2 timeouts will not be enough.
And this is the part we talked about with the long break and the nutrition with players and their last meal. It's close to midnight. Pre-game meal probably was in that 3 o'clock range.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes away from this becoming a Saturday ball game.
Yeah. These players definitely physically can be in dehydration mode here. Good to see Jax Pope up.
So 3rd and 13, a big 3rd and 13 coming up. Buford's got to stop them right here so they can get the ball back. And because they had some bad luck there, if they knew that Jax Pope was going to have the cramp, they wouldn't have called the timeout. But they would have, because the clock would have restarted once he got up and got off the field. So it did stop the clock and save him some seconds right here. 3rd and 13. Nicco goes up top. They're going for the home run, and a man goes down, and a flag comes out, and that will do it in all likelihood. Barbour got dragged down on the play by Jadon Davis.
Jadon Davis here found himself one-on-one out on the edge with Barbour, just never finding the ball. Is 27 right here, just running into Barbour right in front of the referee there.
And I think it was also a great play by Barbour. He kind of de-accelerated, you know, pulled up and let up off the gas and let Davis run right into it.
All of a sudden he went to 180 pounds instead of 240 as he is out on the edge. But great job and obvious pass interference there. Just lost the ball was Jadon Davis, playing the man and just never found the ball.
So that gives Milton a 1st down at the 40-yard line. And now that Buford has only 2 timeouts remaining, Milton, if they play this right, should be able to burn out the rest of the clock. As long as they don't throw any incompletions or step out of bounds, just run the ball here, they should be able to expend the clock. And the ball goes to Lester, and Lester on the cutback, and Lester to the end zone, touchdown. A 40-yard touchdown run for T.J. Lester to, in all likelihood, put this game away.
Great vision, beautiful.
Hold on a second, we got a flag down.
10-yard penalty. Still first down. 7-7.
Right there, looked like Brayden Jacobs.
It was Brayden Jacobs. You heard the official confirm it.
And grabbed the outside linebacker on that play there as he tried to break away from him. Like Dylan McCoy went to break away to try to make the tackle. And the big fellow just kept grabbing his arms right here. You can see it on the right side of the screen. Right there, you just got to let him go. You can't. That is holding. And as a former O-lineman, I would like to give you the benefit of the doubt, but that is the definition of holding.
So the ball is put down at the 50. So they can put it down at the 50.
I'm not sure why Milton is not. The play clock is
Milton's
running, but
arguing the spot of the ball, I think. Yeah, I think Milton is arguing the spot of the ball. They come up to the line and down to 3 on the play clock, and they snap it, get it off in time. It goes back to Lester again, and Lester gets dragged down to the 48-yard line. Dylan McCoy making that tackle. And now clock stopped at 1:28 as Buford uses their second timeout.
Good job by TJ Lester right there, getting down. Got to have ball security in this situation. Trying to milk the clock. You want to cover the ball up. Really want to get north and south. Don't want to really be trying to bounce to the outside. Never know when somebody's going to come from your blind side and knock that ball out.
So they put 1:31 on the clock. Buford has only one timeout remaining, and it is second down. TJ Lester, 19 carries for 108 yards and a touchdown tonight. He's had a big game. Feels like he's an elite back in the state, and because of injuries hasn't really been able to show that. A big stage for him to perform on tonight, going for over 100 against this Buford team.
And similar to last year, with this receiving core and Wiley and Barbour's ability to keep the secondary spread out, it's going to be a lot of opportunity for TJ Lester to work inside, run behind his pads, and have these kind of nights where he goes over 100 yards.
2nd and 18 from the 48. Ball goes to Lester. He gets shot down by Halloway right there at the line of scrimmage. And Buford uses their last timeout. So this is where you start doing the math. They're at 121. And there's it's third down, so if Milton runs this next play to get the 4th down, and then they have to decide what they want to do on that 4th down play. But they should be able to burn off about 30 seconds with the next play. So ball sitting down at the 48-yard line. Line to gain is the 30. So Buford's got a chance to get it back. They've got to, hold them right here and make Milton have to punt. If they allow a big gain and get it anywhere close to the yard marker, then Milton's going to be able to run another play and burn some more time.
Ball security premium here for Milton. Best run play, O-line, cut down your splits, tight ends, no holding.
So third down and 18. Milton doing their best job of keep away and trying to kill the clock. Buford's got to come up with a big defensive play right here. We'll see what Milton does. I would be shocked if they put the ball in the air, because that risks an incompletion and stopping the clock. Let's see if they give the ball to Lester again right here. On third down, Lester gets the handoff again, and Lester down to the 40-yard line, and they're pushing him forward, and whistle blows, and now the clock will run as Buford does not have any more timeouts. It's going to be fourth down. So the play clock just now started, so Milton will not have to run the fourth down play until about 21 seconds on the clock. So the play clock at 24, and now at 20, so they can take it down to about 26, 27 before they have to snap the ball. Remaining, so they're probably going to run it all the way down and burn their last time out too.
Good job there by TJ Lester, running hard, getting to the outside, covering the ball up.
And there's the timeout called by Milton, stopping the clock with 25 seconds. So what would you do? Would you punt here? I wouldn't punt. I'd just run the ball.
I would run the ball right here.
I wouldn't risk a bad snap and the ball flying around, 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Wet ball, low snap.
Yeah, I would run it here. I would, and in fact, I would let Nicco be the guy that runs it.
Keep it in his hands. No need to hand it off. Just get the ball, run at the line of scrimmage, and get down.
So Milton has done a really good job of killing 3 minutes and 25 seconds here. They got the ball with 3:50, and they've run it all the way down to 25 seconds, and now fourth down.
It looks like Coach Reeves is sending the punt unit out, so he is going to at least line up.
Wow, wow, braver than me. I don't think I would do this right here, but this is what they're going to do. Stick around. We'll be awarding the Cotton Commission Player of the Game, interviewing the winning coach and the winning player of the Cotton Commission Player of the Game. Coming up with John Nelson following the conclusion of this game. The snap goes back, and he aims for the corner. Fair catch is made at the 11, and now 19 seconds are left in the game. That was a 29-yard kick. That was a brave play. I don't think I've got the nerve to do what they just did.
A little soccer rollout to get the ball off. Not really a clean snap. The punter catching the ball in his stomach to get it out, close to getting it blocked. It's a lot going on right there in that 6 seconds.
Yeah, I probably would have just run the ball forward. But as it is, it's a lot better situation, so it's a smart play by Milton. And now Buford has to go 89 yards. And no timeouts. You can probably rule out any kind of field goal opportunity. I mean, it's possible. But you got to hit a Hail Mary here. Maybe time for 2 plays. 3 if you're lucky. Raiola in the pocket, steps up in the pocket, throws, wobbly pass, incomplete at the 35. Clock now at 13, 14.
Nice job, Milton, keeping everything in front of him. Safety staying back. Any route, any catch in front of you is what you have to think about. Just not letting anyone drift behind you. Nice job breaking on that ball there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Buford has no need to be in a hurry. They've got 35 seconds on the play clock here. Raiola shovels the ball forward, and it's tackled inbounds. That might kill the clock. I think that's going to do it. They will not get off another play. And Milton has won the battle of the number ones to start the 2024 season. 5A number 1 Milton beats 6A number 1 Buford 13-10.
The rain game, we finally made it through it, and a great job. Both of these teams, both of these should be applauded for. It looks like they're going to clear the field and bring the team back out.
Well, they've spotted the ball down at the 29. I don't know why they would have time back on the clock. He didn't get out of bounds. He ruled it a first down, so they got to move the chains. But as soon as they get the chains set, the clock is showing 0. And now the ball has been placed down. They're letting them run another play. This is shocking. I don't understand the application of the rule right here. And the rain starts falling hard again. They put 4 seconds on the clock. So Buford gets gifted another play. Ball goes to Harkness. Slips out of 1 tackle. Throws it backwards to Ervin. And now the game is over at the 39-yard line.
Well, I guess after 2-hour rain delay, we needed 2 endings to this game. Same result with Milton being able to take home the victory. Applaud these players for being able to stick out such a long delay and still come out with an even more exciting second half between Buford and Milton. But what a big win for the Eagles tonight at home.
13-10. The final. Milton wins their season opener, knocking off number 1 Buford. And at least for now, you figure they stay at number 6 in the national rankings, if not move up a tick, depending upon what everybody else. But most people haven't even started yet, so Georgia getting a jump on most of the teams around the country.
Have to get credit for taking on such a big game early on. The conditions and the rain delay kind of set a table where you couldn't get a great grade of what you have to where you can move them down or move them up. You just kind of have to take it as it is and let them have the victory.
And both of these teams have big games coming up next week. Milton is going to be in the state of Florida, taking on American Heritage down in South Florida. That's going to be next Thursday night. And Buford welcomes in another number 1 team, Benedictine, who's the number 1 ranked team in 4A, will be playing at Tom Ryden Stadium next Friday night.
Both teams stacked at the beginning of the year. Tough competition, and that's the demeanor of the coaches that both teams have. They look forward to trying to go out. They're not ducking competition. They're not trying to take the easy road to the championship.
And time now for our Johnny's Pizza post-game interview with the winning coach, Coach Ben Reeves.
Thank you very much, Matt. Time to have a Saturday morning interview with Coach Reeves. What'd you learn about yourself tonight?
We just keep playing, keep battling. Doesn't matter what's thrown at us. Never had that situation before in my career. Just ask the kids to keep, going with whatever's thrown our way and fight against it the best they could, and they did that tonight.
And to have a test like this early on in the year where you've got to pack up Wednesday, you're heading to South Florida, national television game. Obviously, you learn a lot about yourself, but you can carry that mission forward.
Absolutely. We went down to Miami last year and actually had an hour rain delay before the game, so maybe this will benefit us some way when we get down there again this year. I know it rains every day this time of year, but, like I said, the big thing is just the mental focus that our kids were able to keep. Didn't let anything keep them off of their game. And when we came out, they were fired up like I knew that they would be. And, we just stayed with our plan. Our kids stayed focused, and we were able to pull out a close one.
All right, go talk to your team. Thanks again, and safe travels.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, CJ Wiley, we're going to do a hot tag. That was our Johnny's Pizza interview. That was a small pizza, maybe with a couple of toppings on top. All right, it is time for the Georgia Cotton Commission Player of the Game. Georgia Cotton Commission, the natural choice for Georgia, and our natural choice for players. It is CJ Wiley, and it's time to catch up with CJ. Now, the way things are, you get the hat, you got the towel, and it's all good. So out there tonight, what was it like with this delay and having to start once and then start again? What was it like for you guys there in the locker room, getting ready to actually play twice?
Even the delay, we still kept our heads up, stay loose in the locker room, just make sure we wouldn't fall asleep, make sure the body was still good. So yeah.
What'd you learn? I asked Coach what you learned about yourself tonight. having to play basically 2 separate games. What do you think you learned about yourselves as a team tonight?
I learned that we can finish hard. We had a pretty good game. They stopped us a couple times, but I made some big-time plays for my team. So
now you've got another couple of days worth of rest. Maybe you get to sleep in until 7:30 or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning before it starts all over again. Good first step with big expectations here this season with Milton. What do you think it's going to be like going down to South Florida to have another big national contest?
We're going to take them like no other team, just give it our hardest, work as a team, get that dub.
CJ, congratulations, our Georgia Cotton Commission player of the game. Georgia Cotton Commission, the natural choice for Georgia, and our natural choice, 7 for 84 and touch. He gets the hat, he gets the towel. Go towel off. Thanks again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Matt, it's all yours. We've survived. Welcome to Saturday football.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nelly. 13-10, the final here. Milton beats Buford. Wayne, your thoughts on our season opener?
It was an exciting game to start off. I think both teams came in with a lot of energy. The crowd was into it. The kids showed a lot of heart here with that kind of time delay. The fans left, the Lightning left. They got back to action on the field. C.J. Wiley, what a great game he had, making some big catches for his team in timely moments.
So the battle of number ones goes to 5A number 1 Milton as they knock off 6A number 1 Buford 13-10. Be sure to join us next Friday night. Got another great ball game for you.